Good morning, I'm Annie and this is Vicky, Jolin, and Annika. Before I start the presentation, I would like to ask, during the epidemic, have any one of you been vaccinated? None of us have been vaccinated yet, right? So today we are going to talk about what the Taiwanese and Chinese think of the efficiency of AZ vaccine. Next. Our team have interviewed 10 interviewees in total. We will start from introduction and compare the vaccinated people between Taiwan and China. And for the final section, other than AZ vaccine, what other brands of vaccine will people choose if they have other chance? Next. So it is common sense that we need to seek medical treatment if we feel uncomfortable, but there are so many medical assets to choose for. Next. Since the outbreak of the epidemic, there have been many disputes between Taiwan and China, and the issue of vaccine also, not only the naming of the virus COVID-19 or Wuhan 肺炎, also the BND incident we have mentioned in our last report. But this time, we zoom in and focus on the issue of what the Taiwanese and Chinese think of the efficiency of AZ vaccine. Next. So we'll start from the people who got vaccinated. Next. We have 3 questions for the interviewee who got vaccinated. First, why did you vaccinate? Second, any side effect after vaccinated? Third, what are your opinions on the efficiency of AZ vaccine? Next. So I'm going to introduce my interviewee from Taiwan who got vaccinated. For Ms. Lin, she is a 21 years old female college student. Her reason for vaccinated is because her requirement for studying abroad. And for Mr. Chang, he's a male doctor who got vaccinated because he's a medical personnel. Next. And for Ms. Lin, she said because she's planned to study abroad for graduate school, her school requires all the students to be vaccinated. Therefore, she self-paid to vaccinate AZ vaccine. Next. And as for Mr. Chang, he is in medical personnel, and as a first line of epidemic prevention, they must take defensive measures. And except for AZ vaccine, they didn't have much choice to choose from. Next. And what happened after they got vaccinated? For Ms. Lin, she got fever, chills, vomit, pain, and insomnia. And for Mr. Chang, he only got fever and pain. And Ms. Lin also said that pain is the most serious side effect she had because she got pain all over her body and even her bones. Next. And what are our interviewees think about the efficiency of AZ vaccine? For Ms. Lin, she said she doesn't really know because they didn't have much choice to choose from. And the medical evidence shows that the protection of the vaccine is fine. Next. And Mr. Chang said, the research shows that it has 50% protection, but it has to take 3 doses in total to have a complete protection. Next. So let's move on to the people who got vaccinated in China. Let's welcome Vicky.
Okay, so we have already know Taiwanese people's attitudes toward the vaccine. So next, let's see Chinese people's opinions. So I have interviewed 3 people. They are Miss Xiao, Mr. Xiao, and Miss Chen. They are all 21 years old college students. And Miss Xiao and Mr. Xiao got the Sinovac vaccine, which is also known as the Beijing Kexin, and Miss Chen got the BBIBP vaccine, which is made by the Beijing Biology. And next, so why did they get the vaccine? Miss Xiao says, since I was afraid of getting infected, I felt more at ease after getting the vaccine. I've heard from family and friends around me who have also had the vaccine, and they feel pretty good about it. And how about Mr. Xiao? Next. Vaccination were arranged by the school, but we can still make our own choice. I chose to get vaccinated because I felt it was safer. And finally, Miss Chen, next. She says, when I saw that people around me were getting vaccinated, I thought it was already a social trend, so I also get vaccinated. So what happened after they got vaccinated? So from this table, we can see 6 different kinds of side effects. And but actually, my interviewees didn't feel too many side effects after got vaccinated. For example, we can see Mr. Xiao, he didn't feel anything after that, but Miss Xiao felt pain in the arm and muscle weakness, and Miss Chen felt pain in the arm also and drowsiness. And they also told me that some people around them had a high fever, diarrhea, and vomit, and also drowsiness. So next, let's see their opinions on the efficiency of AZ vaccine. First, Ms. Xiao thinks that this vaccine is not good enough because some European countries, such as Denmark, have banned this vaccine. And she also read some news that this vaccine has a very high risk. It may cause cerebral thrombosis. Also, she heard that it is not very effective. And next, Mr. Shao says, personally, I have my doubts. After all, AZ is one of the most popular vaccines outside mainland China. And it is clear that the outbreak in countries and regions outside of mainland China has not been effectively controlled to date. So he thinks that the efficiency of this vaccine is limited. And finally, Ms. Chen says, I don't know. Basically, the Chinese vaccine is the widely used vaccine in China. The overseas Chinese friends around me choose to get this Pfizer vaccine. So I don't have much trust and concern about the AZ vaccine. So next, let's see some comparison between Taiwanese and Chinese. So first, the reasons. Taiwanese get the vaccine because the requirements for study abroad or medical personnel. These are both required reasons. But for Chinese, it's because of the fear of the virus, the influence of people around them, and the social trend. Although they are influenced, but they are not required reasons, they can still make their own choice. So it's more like the spontaneous reasons. And next, the side effects. So from this, we can see that the side effects are pretty much the same. But actually, my interviewees didn't feel too many side effects, only pain in the arm and muscle weakness, drowsiness, but overall the results are similar. And next, finally, the opinions on the efficiency of AZ vaccine. We can see that Taiwanese people have relatively positive attitude. They trust the results, and the Chinese people have quite negative attitude. They said that the vaccine is not good enough. I have my doubts and I don't know. So these are all we got from the interviews. So next, how about people who are unvaccinated? Let's welcome Jolin.
Okay, thanks for Annie and Vicky's presentation. And on the contrary, Annika and I will introduce vaccinate people and briefly talk about their attitude toward AC vaccine. And next, and this is our questions for the interview. And the number one is, do you know anything about AC vaccine? How do you feel about it? Number two, if you had the opportunity to get the AC vaccine, would you choose to do so? Okay, next. And my interviewees, one is female master student, another one is a male pharmacist. And Miss Ding said she knows some side effects and risks because some of her friends have taken this vaccine before. While she thinks it may hurt or affect her health, so she didn't want to take this vaccine before. As for nowadays, the situation is getting more dangerous and serious, so maybe she will accept this vaccine. Next. And Mr. John, he is a pharmacist. He totally denied this vaccine, as he knows there are as he knows there are so many European countries had forbidden this vaccine, and then the efficiency is not good as expectation, and it's only about 70% to defense the virus. By the way, it has too many side effects, so for himself, he will never take AZ vaccine. Next. And I asked them, do you want to get AZ vaccine? Miss Ding said, yes, she want to get AZ vaccine. After all, Taiwan has not too many choice, we have less vaccine now. So if she can only get AZ vaccine, she will accept that. At least it can help her to protect from those virus. And next, Mr. Zhang said he will not consider it as his choice. First of all, it has many side effects, such as blood clots, especially the others have high risk on it. And next is its efficiency is the worst among several vaccines. Due to his job, he can get vaccine in advance, so he can choose a better one to vaccinate. And after telling some unvaccinated Taiwanese opinions on AZ vaccine, next, Annika will share other China people's thoughts. So let's welcome Annika.
So we have already briefly spoke about unvaccinated people in Taiwan. Now let's take a look at it in more depth than in China. We have 3 interviewees in total in China, 2 located in mainland China and 1 in the UK currently. The first one is Mr. Liu, who is a college student who majors in biology, and he's 22 years old. He said, I know a little bit about AZ vaccine, but I think most of the university students in mainland China don't know about this vaccine. There are many news reports that the AZ vaccine has a risk of blood clots and has been banned in several countries. However, our second interviewee, Mr. Zhong, who is 21 years old and he is a master of business, he's now in Bristol, United Kingdom. He is more confident about AZ vaccine because he said, although there has been some negative reports about the AZ vaccine, such as the blood clots, its effectiveness is still very reliable, basically between 80 to 90% as far as I know. The AZ vaccine has not been completely banned in the UK, and there are many reminders and guidelines on the government website. However, the effectiveness of it is being monitored. In addition, our interviewee provided us some additional materials. which is from the government of the United Kingdom website. As we can see from the left image, there is an announcement related to the AZ vaccine in the United Kingdom. And in the right side, we can see some reminders, and we should be aware of some tips and about vaccinating AZ vaccine in the United Kingdom. So our third interviewee is 47 years old, and he's a bank clerk in mainland China. He has more scientific understanding of the AZ vaccine despite of his age. He said, I have a general understanding of the vaccine. The reports we have received so far are that people under the age of 40 are prone to blood clots, and that the vaccine is not very effective, about 70% as far as I know. The effectiveness of the vaccine will continue to decrease for mutated viruses. Based on their understanding of AZ vaccine, we later asked their willingness of getting AZ vaccine in the future. The first interviewee, Mr. Liu, is an opponent of AZ vaccine. He said, I wouldn't want to get it. Although the domestic vaccine is an inactivated vaccine, slow production and high cost, it is safe because the technology is the most developed and suitable for China's situation. Plus, I don't think AZ vaccine is safe, so I wouldn't want to get it if I had the chance. In contrast, Mr. John, the Chinese student in the UK, is quite optimistic about AZ vaccine because of the pandemic is severe in his place. He said, because of the seriousness of the pandemic, I would choose to get AZ vaccine as soon as I am able to get it. But as a foreigner, I do not have any chance to get the AZ vaccine in the UK now. However, our third interviewee thinks it's unnecessary for him to vaccinate AZ vaccine because based on the current pandemic situation in China, I choose not to get the AZ vaccine. Weighing the side effects, effectiveness, and the need for vaccination in the current pandemic situation in China, getting AZ vaccine for me is not necessary right now. If the pandemic expands in the future, I may consider getting the AZ vaccine. In the previous part of this presentation, we've covered people's opinion and their willingness of vaccinating AZ vaccine, but we are still curious about one question. If they have a chance to choose another brand of COVID-19 vaccine, which brand would they choose? This chart shows the result of this question. In total, we have 10 interviewees, and 1 people want to get AZ vaccine if they have another chance to choose, and another one want to get Johnson & Johnson. 2 people among them want to get Moderna, and 3 people among them want to get Pfizer, and another 3 people want to get Sinovac or BBIBP COVID-19 vaccine in China. Now let's recap on what we've spoken about the comparison between Taiwanese and Chinese opinion on the efficiency of AZ vaccine. To sum up, our team has interviewed 10 people in total, 5 who have been vaccinated and other 5 people who have not. 7 among them are not willing to get AZ vaccine in the future, or they have another chance to choose if they want to get or not. So here are the 4 main reasons why they don't want to get AZ vaccine. The first one is about safety, which are mostly based on the media reports, because in some place, like in mainland China, it shows some negative reports about AZ vaccine. And the second reason is because AZ vaccine is quite time consuming because it requires 3 shots in total. And third reason is about necessity, because in some interviews place, the pandemic is not quite severe, so they don't think it's quite not necessary for them to get it. And the last reason they don't want to get AZ vaccine is because of their age. We found that the older people are, the less willing they have to be vaccinated. So that's all of our presentation. Thank you for listening.